Chapter 809, Additive. In the dense fog, Lumion stared at the oil lamp, feeling an urge to light it and see what would happen. Eventually, he controlled himself and refrained from taking the risk. With everything still in a state of chaos and uncertainty, Lumion believed that making any high-risk decisions would be unwise. He also had no intention of taking the oil lamp to trade with Albus Medici for the head of the abscessed hand. Since the Iron and Blood Cross Order placed the oil lamp here without guarding it, they probably weren't worried about losing it or had many similar lamps. Based on his observations, Lumion deduced that the pale yellow grease in the lamp likely didn't come from iron-blooded knights and demonesses of despair. It was different from corpse wax candles and seemed to be a mixture of mid-sequence hunters and demonesses. Though it's less effective than a corpse wax candle, it should still work in the underground of Morara, which is similar to Fourth Epic Trier. Lumion reached into his traveler's bag. Just because he couldn't light it or take it didn't mean he couldn't do anything. He planned to add something extra to the oil lamp, ensuring the Iron and Blood Cross Order would face unforeseen complications during their rituals. Lumion took out some old blood powder from the demon warlock, ice lemon fish fillets, a berserk agent from the Night Stalkers, and another bark agent from the same source. He placed them on the half-height stone platform, mixed a bit of each into a brown lump the size of a human finger joint. "What do you call this? A cocktail?" Lumion chuckled, putting all the materials back into his traveler's bag. He then took out Mr. K's finger, sliced off some flesh, and wrapped it around the brown lump. This was a precaution against the Iron and Blood Cross Order's inspection hunters from the Order would undoubtedly check the oil lamp for any issues before use, as it wasn't always under their strict watch. In Morara, Lumion didn't worry that using Mr. K's finger this way would be detected. Looking at the blood-stained lump, Lumion reluctantly scooped a bit of the semi-solid, yellowish-red substance from his corpse wax candle and smeared it on the lump. A double disguise, combined with a higher sequence, godhood-possessing item, should fool the hunter's noses and eyes. Once the lump was coated with the yellowish-red substance, Lumion examined the candle, reassuring himself, just a little bit, it shouldn't affect the number of uses. After putting away the corpse wax candle, Lumion picked up the oil lamp, removed the wick made of woven black hair, and carefully submerged the yellowish-red lump into the semi-solid grease, ensuring it stayed in the desired position. Seeing the lump's yellowish-red color blend with the surrounding grease, leaving only faint traces hidden inside, Lumion breathed in relief and slowly inserted the wick back into the semi-solid grease. After several adjustments, the wick's position and condition finally met Lumion's requirements. He could already imagine the scene. The oil lamp would initially burn normally, with the corpse wax having perhaps a hint of godhood, enhancing the ritual's effect and immersing the Iron and Blood Cross Order members in the sensory experience. This would last for 20 or 30 seconds, after which the corpse wax part would burn. This would bring an intense pack-like experience, potentially fatal for some Order members with weaker wills. Of course, this might also benefit some members, causing positive mutations, but the corpse wax portion was minimal, and the burn would soon reach the random materials wrapped in Mr. K's flesh. Lumion wasn't sure what the impact would be, but he was confident it would worsen the situation. "Just suck on this one, it hits strong." Lumion recalled how South Continent people described East Balem cigarettes, smiling as he addressed the imaginary Order members. Then, he cleaned up the traces on the oil lamp and tidied the scattered rubble. Following the faint scent of various perfumes, Lumion found his way back to the basement crack through the dense fog, leaving the area slowly. He transformed into a shadow creature, silently returned to the carnivore bar, and pretended to sleep to avoid an ambush by Albus Medici, Gusane, and others. At 6 in the morning, Lumion felt refreshed. He rolled out of bed, stretched his neck, and laughed softly. "Didn't come? Albus and the others didn't come, neither did Wanak. Do they think I have teleportation abilities, making it hard to kill me outside a special battlefield or without special items? Heh, you're too hesitant, too cautious. Now I have shadows again, no longer afraid of sunlight, and can block another fatal attack." Lumion drew the curtains, gazing at the brightening dawn, his eyes falling on the books from the Church of Knowledge on his desk. He instinctively felt a headache, frowning. He resisted reading and learning, struggling with an indescribable inner turmoil. If there were only a few books, Lumion would be highly motivated, reading diligently and focusing intently. But knowing there were 3 whole shelves of books and thousands of scrolls left him feeling defeated, unwilling to start. After several seconds, Lumion rubbed his temples, sighed, and muttered to himself. Well, since 001 was sealed by the Church of Knowledge, I should respect knowledge. There's nothing else to do now, just waiting for Albus and Julie to take further action, hoping to seize an opportunity and direction. Lumion sat down, leaning back in his chair, placing his feet on the edge of the desk, reading the books specified by Harroberg in a comfortable but precarious position. He had read the first 2 or 3 chapters before and found nothing noteworthy, but this time he planned to study in depth. As he read, Lumion's expression gradually changed. He became engrossed in the reading, almost forgetting the time until Les knocked on the door, telling him breakfast was ready. Okay, Lumion nodded, setting down the book without any visible changes and heading out of the room. Almost at the door, he saw Les turning towards the stairs and half turned back, glancing at the books on the desk with a puzzled expression. These books indeed contained important knowledge. He was currently reading one thoroughly and had skimmed through the others, already finding similarities with the details in the 001 sealing information, along with more detailed explanations. If I read through the 3 bookshelves and passed the exam, I might find a way to approach 001 through the overall sealing operation and use the sealing principles to protect myself when touching the artifact. Knowledge is power, knowledge is wealth, knowledge holds all the answers. Lumion withdrew his gaze, his eyes flashing with thoughts as he entered the hallway and turned towards the stairs. The problem now was that this kind of knowledge brought noticeable corruption, just like the 001 sealing information. Lumion worried that the more he learned, the closer he got to 001, the more likely he would become its puppet. Also, if I focus too much on reading these books, Albus, Julie, Gusane, and Wanek might get suspicious and also borrow a few books from the Church of Knowledge. Then I would lose my advantage. I need to wander aimlessly every day, set traps for them, outsmart them, and make it seem like I'm just reading out of boredom. Lumion's smile gradually widened. He finished the flight of stairs and glanced at Julie sitting on a bar stool at the counter. The demoness wore a white shirt and black skirt, looking quite demure, but she swayed her waist gently, making the stool spin. She glanced back at Lumion and continued talking to Les. I only think about finding what I lost from other men when I'm in a terrible mood. Normally, I just feel jealous and resentful, wondering why I lost it and they still have it. And your cooking has conquered me. I acknowledge your right to keep that thing. As long as you don't come to me when I'm in a bad mood, I won't do anything to you. Is that why you demonesses like turning lovers into witches? Lumion sat beside Julie, smiling at Les. What are you guys talking about? Les licked his lips and replied. She asked if I was curious about the taste of demoness meat and cut a small piece for me. Grilled, it was delicious, rich in fat and very chewy. Then we got to the topic we were discussing. Lumion glanced at Julie and noticed the bandage marks on her left shoulder, with some bloodstains on her shirt. She really cut it. One daring to cut and the other daring to cook. Your mental states and inner worlds are beyond me. Lumion snorted and directly asked Julie, "What are you up to?" Julie smiled, showing 2 shallow dimples. "I want to learn cooking from Les." Her face was full of longing and expectation. "To cook for Celeste, you demonesses." Lumion shook his head and focused on his breakfast. Trier, Quartier de la Cathédrale commémorative, apartment 702, 9 Rue Orsay. Franca received a reply from Madame Judgment. The letter began. Mr. Starr agrees to provide potion formulas and beyonder ingredients in stages for Amandina's matter, but he doesn't need money or resources. He only hopes you can help with some matters. Me, what can I help Mr. Starr with? Franca pondered deeply.